Hello everyone and welcome to Flickering Myth TV, an extension of the website flickeringmyth.com. My name's EJ Marino and today we have a brand new movie review. Yes, we are talking about Gemini Man. Director Ang Lee is back, and this time he brought along Will Smith in this doppelganger action thriller. It's a Will Smith movie for the most part. You know those kind of action movies he did a lot in the mid-2000s? Well, don't forget the 90s, and we'll talk about the 90s, but you know that kind of action movie. Well, this is one of them, but it has a fresh new coat of paint, because that's what Ang Lee does. He understands visuals, technology, how to be a great director. This is well directed as a whole, but as a script, as a full-on film experience, I can't say I didn't enjoy myself, but have I seen things like this before? Sure, and that's where I think this kind of lets me down. This is Ang Lee. As you know, say what you want about Crouching Tiger or even Brokeback Mountain, but for the time, both those films felt kind of innovative. Hell, I'll even give him Life of Pi. Whatever issues we all have with Life of Pi, it still felt a little bit forward thinking. Now this feels like it went for a 90s throwback, but instead of feeling fresh and new like a good homage, this ended up feeling a little bit more dated than it should have. Will Smith stars as Henry Brogan, and if you've seen a Will Smith performance in any other movie, he does it here, and he does well. Like, I think the younger version of him, because he's playing two characters, a older version who's ready to retire, and they say, oh no, you're not retiring on us, we'll send out the best assassin there ever was. It's just you from the past. And I'm like, okay, overall good plot. I was hoping the younger Will Smith would have a Terminator, like Robert Patrick vibe, where I'm like, you are terrifying and chilling, and no, it's just a Will Smith good guy role deep down inside. You know those kind of things Will Smith does a lot, where he kind of refuses to play a bad guy, someone that challenges the good guy nature of him, and that's kind of what happens here. I'm not really spoiling anything. They even kind of sell it in the trailers that, like, look, he has a heart still. He's a clone from, like, the future kind of, you know, it's one of those stories, but, like, he's still good, and I'm like, oh, Will Smith, this was really, that's where I think my major disappointment is this was another chance. Much like I said, this feels dated for Will Smith. This was a chance for him to kind of progress his usual niche, his usual style, and it just felt like more of the same from him, and that's where it let me down. Again, if you're a Will Smith fan, you have two performances in here that I think you'll genuinely enjoy, but I'm not normally captivated by him as an actor, so overall I was just like, oh, okay, I saw another Will Smith performance. I can add that to, like, the plethora of them that I've seen. Yay! Now, where this film shines, though, is the technical aspects. Shot at a higher frame rate, in 3D, and with all that de-aging technology, this is a demo reel for, like, new age film technology. And again, that's kind of what Ang Lee does. I remember his impressive wire work in Crouching Tiger. I remember how he brought raw emotion out of these big budget feel of Brokeback. I remember the visual effects of Life of Pi. That's what he does each time, and he did it again. So yay for Ang Lee. He is a goddamn talented director and has an eye for technology, has an eye to use it, and he uses it well. From the action scenes, from how they're edited this movie, this was so refreshing to see longer takes. You know, usually action and fight scenes are so chopped up now. You can go to Taken that has like 75 cuts in one fight scene, or even Hobbs and Shaw this year struggles with that. So here I was so happy to see that it's scaled back. And yeah, this movie does feel drawn out in the runtime, but I will take drawn out action scenes than choppy stuff that I can barely comprehend. De-aging actors has been like the talk of the town this year, from what they've done in like the Marvel movies, to what they did in The Irishman with Robert De Niro, to what they've done with Will Smith here. It's a big thing, and overall, I'm okay on the de-aging in this movie. I thought it looked fine. Like, it's one of those things I would have to have like insane repeat viewings to go like, ooh, scene 3, right after he did this, that was a little sketchy, but how just the movie played out overall, I didn't really notice it. And from overall what I've heard of, like, something like The Irishman, where you're spending a lot more time staring at these scenes for long periods of time, you feel it. Here, like I said, it's not choppy or anything, but you never spend too much time just really staring and going, I can notice all the details, and even if it does, that one scene you're staring looks good, so it works overall. I think de-aging is going to be a thing going forward that we're going to be using a lot of, and I'm okay with it, I guess, if it could look like this. I don't want it to replace, though, like casting young actors. Like, I don't want to say maybe you didn't have to cast Jaden for this movie, but there's people who could look like Will Smith, who could play a younger Will Smith, other than just casting young, like, Will Smith to play younger versions. That's why I'm just like, we'll see. I just don't want de-aging to, like, take over Hollywood, because sometimes these gimmicks just end up being gimmicks instead of just ways to, like, enhance your storytelling. Don't build around de-aging just only thing, which I think this movie does a tiny bit. I do like that there tries to do a little bit more in this movie, but overall it does feel like, look, our de-aging tech's cool. Like it? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess. Notice how I haven't really talked about the supporting cast a lot, because the supporting cast doesn't have a lot to do. I love me some Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but not a lot to do. Clive Owen, there's just like, oh cool, I get my, like, villain and I get my female supporting character. Cool. They're like, it's very generic. That's why I say this feels like a 90s movie where we get, like, just kind of blank, paper thin characters, and we're like, cool, but this is a vehicle for our cool main action star. And again, much like that, actually that's a common thread this year, from like Ad Astra to the Joker. We have a lot of movies that are Judy Garland's the Judy film, where I'm like, oh wow, this one main actor is driving the whole film. We ain't gonna give anything to the supporting cast. And again, it kind of plays out here in Gemini Man, where I'm like, there's good actors here. We could have another fight scene there. Oh no, we'll just do more Will Smith stuff. Again, it's Will Smith. He likes to be in his movies a lot. But I think this could have dealt with maybe a little less Will Smith and a little bit more from the other people. Because there's stuff here that's good. It's just every time we go there, we like divert off to a Will Smith thing. And I'm like, oh, cool, like, we get to deal with his character, like, almost the I'm too old for this shit Will Smith old guy character. I can't believe he's there yet, but he is here as that actor doing the, I'm close to retirement gimmick, and I'm like, cool, but Mary Elizabeth Winstead, no? Okay, we'll still spend time with you. Gemini Man would be one of those great movies you get at Blockbuster, you're like, oh, I don't know what to watch. Oh, that, Will Smith on the cover. I would have grabbed it in the 90s and liked it. And to see it in 2019 on the big screen, oh, it helps seeing it on a big screen kind of vibe. Like, seeing this in a small format does not do anything, because this is all about the experience, the technology. I think this has been, like, labeled an event film. Yeah, go out and see it to the theaters, because if you see it at home at HBO, you're going to be like, oh, cool, that was fine. And that's unfortunately the vibe I got. Even from the big screen vibe of it, I'm like, cool. Thanks. And I hate being in this kind of movie because, again, I don't hate it. It just didn't wow me, and that's what upsets me. But what did you guys think of this review? What do you guys think of Gemini Man? Let me know down in the comments below. Are you excited to see this movie? Are you excited to see 2 Will Smiths? Let me know down below. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to Flickering Myth, because we make videos like this every single week. Alright guys, let's talk about Gemini Man below.